harmony? How is that our minds are adjusted to harmony? How is that we find it mostly in wilderness, in the nature, in the forest, deserts, or other kinds of solitude, deserted places untouched by human hand? How is that we find peace and calm within voices of birds, within singing? How is that we call the birds crying, singing, like music? Obviously, we following the nature, and especially birds, we developed music. Fleets of many kinds were the first instruments from the Greek mythology in almost, I think, every civilization, because somehow we find it to be harmonic, to be what we need to calm our souls, to calm our senses and our minds. How is that we find the nature so wild and dangerous, also so peaceful and harmonic? Regardless, despite of Christian, especially creationists' arguments about intelligent project, about that universe was created by the intelligent project, for which there are no proofs in science, and it must be debunked. Anyway, in Catholicism there is a tendency to find also a harmony in the world. How is that? And Catholicism is in better terms with science and scientific cognition and scientific results. No doubt, it has good terms with that. Catholicism accepts almost whatever scientific result may be. So therefore, evolution, creation from nothing. The creation from nothing. Sorry, there is a very doubtful line here about creation from nothing. Some physicists agree there was creation from nothing, but others disagree with that statement. They say there wasn't creation from nothing. There was more like eternal universe, or just there was matter before the universe expanded, or even the whole theory of Big Bang is more like hypothesis more than a theory, because there are some points, some new facts, discoveries that may disprove this theory, or just limit its range of truth. Theories have kind of the range in being valid or invalid, right? Anyhow, how is that we find the calmness in nature? If there is no harmony, if this is all chaotic, made from chaos. Accidental, if this is accidental, made in accident. I mean, in the sense, somehow we evolved, adapted to find it. Maybe the reason, yes, indeed, the reason is because we adapted to these conditions. We evolved from the nature. We evolved from, as well, we are, if I am not mistaken, we can be, we belong to apes category. In the tree of animals, we belong to apes. So gorillas, chimpanzees are our cousins. We, as well as them, we all have some one ancestor, very, 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 very long time ago. There was some species that evolved and separated to different species, and then those species also, there is many branches of that, of course. But we belong to apes. If I am not mistaken, it's called apes or primates, I think. Anyway, we are made in nature, obviously. We evolved, adapted to that. Our minds has been made in the nature, through the nature. We are the creation of the nature, without any godlike meaning of that word. We just evolved. Maybe it's because our primate instincts, our natural instincts to seek what is natural, because what is natural is, at least according to our instinct, the most beneficial for us. In some ways, the rational analysis and science and verification, empiricism, somehow, mostly proves proves that nature, to some degree, to most degree, is really beneficial for us. But of course, we have to protect ourselves from thunders, earthquakes, from diseases spread by mosquitoes, flies, or leeches, or other insects, or of course by predators like lions, white cats, or white dogs like hyenas, or other kinds of dirty, very dangerous stuff. We have to protect ourselves. Anyway, somehow nature is beneficial, mostly. We developed our drugs, medicine, from natural methods, from plants that were beneficial. We made it more sufficient. We made it more proficient for us. Developed many kinds of new plants, many kinds of drugs, artificial and so on. I will avoid the topic of intellectual properties and patents that secure monopolies for the sake of this discussion. It's because not all drugs are beneficial, of course, because in our days most drugs are made by big corporations, which aren't really beneficial for humankind. They have no control by the market. They are too much. Maybe it may sound like an irony, but they are limited, because they are limited by government. they are less they are less beneficial for us. They produce drugs, and they don't care about their to cure us. They care about their own self-interest. In that sense, their self-interest is there is there is no competition. There is lack of good competition, free market competition. Okay, for now, let it be sufficient explanation, I hope. Yes, and that was very far away and long, prolonged, delayed from the main. I really make a big. Okay, going back to the point. How is that we find nature to be so beneficial for us? The sounds of birds, the sounds, the tranquility of that. And how is that we find it to be harmonic? Is that only evolution? Or maybe there's something else? Maybe that through this all chaotic and accidents, maybe through all those stuff, this chemical actions, physical actions that led to the creation of our universe, of the nature, of plants, Earth as it is, there was some plan, higher plan. Maybe even by the evolution, maybe there is a plan. Maybe the whole. Why is evolution? Why? Yes, there is another question that comes to my mind. Why evolution is so, let's say, perfect, relatively perfect? Why species adopt to their inhabitant, to their habitatus? Why is that? And why they developed so fucking perfectly? Why there is a struggle between survival of the finest, of the fittest? Yes, why we have to be the fittest? Why is that? I will leave you with those questions. If you feel like it, subscribe, like, comment at least, or no, at least like. More, if you really want to support me, you should subscribe. You can comment, obviously, whether you have some questions or not. So, have a nice or good night.